Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
You're listening to the Perk Up with Kim show. I am your host, Kim O'Neill, and I'm so happy that you're here with me today. On this show, I invite you to embrace all of who you are. Know that anything is possible for you as I talk with really awesome, inspiring guests about topics that allow you to step into a place of ease and flow, positively expanding your energy and tapping into your power. Grab your coffee or tea and come percolate with me. Welcome. You are listening to the Perk Up with Kim show on HealthyLife.net, and I am your host, Kim O'Neill. So happy to have you here today. And again, we have another wonderful guest. Today, our show is Life is Supposed to Be Fun. Life is supposed to be fun. Oh my goodness. It sounds good. Doesn't always seem like the easiest thing to do, but it sounds good, doesn't it? Well, you know what? Our guest today is Dr. John McGrail, and that is his number one rule. Let me talk to you just a little bit about Dr. McGrail, and then we're going to talk to him and get to really, glean some insight and wisdom from him and what he does. So, Dr. McGrail, he is a proud veteran of the military, the U.S. Coast Guard. He's had careers in commercial aviation, mass communications, but he's also a clinical hypnotherapist who is a sought-after spiritual teacher. He owns a company called A Better You, Inc., where he serves a worldwide clientele, people of all ages and backgrounds, as well as corporate clients. And just a few of the things he does, so he is a clinical hypnotherapist. He also does NLP, which, if you're not familiar with that, that stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. He does timeline therapy, therapeutic imagery, and EFT, also known as tapping. And he really helps people overcome things that, that can be debilitating, like fears, limiting beliefs, other issues that prevent people from living their life to their fullest potential. And he's developed a really cool, unique powerful process called the Synthesis Effect. And he's even written a book on it. And that book is called The Synthesis Effect, Your Direct Path to Personal Power and Transformation. And so I love everything that he's got wrapped up in his background. And I'm so happy to share Dr. McGrail with you today. So with that said, welcome to the show, Dr. McGrail.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for having me. It's a delight. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, I think the first thing I would like to ask you is, I love that your number one rule is that life is supposed to be fun. And I'm wondering if you would be able to just share a little bit more, about that with us and why that's your number one rule.
Well, yeah, I'd be happy to. Unfortunately, in modern Western culture, we have developed a sort of a social meme, if you will, that life needs to be a struggle, and if you don't suffer, then you're not going to make anything of it. And that's really not the way we're born. If you look at any little child, they are absolutely full of love. They are full of self-esteem. They are full of joy, of exploration, of discovering their world and growing. And so our natural state of being, if you didn't put all the stuff that we are exposed to every day, our natural state of being is a state of well-being. And unfortunately, we get ourselves into this horrible situation where we're feeling anything but that. And my whole practice now with both my private clients and my workshops and seminars and the shows like this that I do is about helping people understand that you can live any way you want to. Life is supposed to be fun. It doesn't necessarily mean an endless series of parties and hedonistic experiences. It means that when you wake up in the morning, you look forward to the day. You like the people you're relating to. You like the choices that you're making for yourself. You're really comfortable with your values. You hopefully love what you do to make money, because most of us do have to make money in order to survive. So hopefully you love it, but at least you like it or not a lot, because we spend a lot of time doing it. And you're putting out this energy of positive, emotion, and that's what you begin to attract back. And when people get good at that, and anybody can do it, that's what I do, is to help them find their fun. It's just really delightful. It's great to be alive. I mean, it's as simple as that. So that's what it means.
Awesome. How do you help people find their fun? I love the way you put that.
Well, everybody's different, but I can say this with aplomb, because I certainly was there in my day. We all have stuff. We all have fears that are holding us back, or limiting beliefs, or lack of self-confidence or self-esteem. Some people develop irrational fears called phobias, where they can't do certain things like drive on the freeway or get on a plane. So we all have our stuff. And essentially what I do, depending on what that stuff is help my clients and my students transcend it, get rid of it, reprogram their subconscious spiritual mind to respond in a way they want to, rather than react in a way that's holding them back. That's essentially what it means. We can, what I say to everybody, it's your mind, you own it, and we can make it do whatever you want it to do if you're willing to put in the work. But it's your mind.
Right.
Unfortunately, most of us let our minds run away with us, and that's when we get into trouble.
Right. Yeah, I've come to find out that focus is a really big part of the experience that I have in life. If I allow myself to be swayed by whatever is going on in whatever other direction, maybe there's, something going on in the world that's really loud and noisy and uncomfortable, it certainly has the ability to take my attention away. But I've noticed that that's if I let it. And so, if I have the ability to, well, I do have the ability, but if we step into our ability to refocus, then that can keep us more connected to that space of being fun and happy.
Absolutely, and it does take conscious effort. There's nobody on the planet, I don't care, maybe if you want to go sit in a cave for 30 years and meditate and shut yourself off from the world, you'd be immune to it. But in today's technology-driven society, where we can watch natural disasters happen live, when we're subject to these, just incredible negativity, it's really easy to lose your footing, to lose your focus, I like that word, and get swept away by the negativity that is modern society. So, and with conscious effort and consistent effort, you can, as you said, and I agree with this, get yourself off the precipice, so to speak, so you don't go over that cliff, or at least not very long. And with practice, you can get really, really good at that.
Yeah, as you were just mentioning that, one of the things that I think about is sometimes it's like we don't catch ourselves when it's first happening. And so maybe we focus on something that's unpleasant for a little longer than serves us, or at least, just we get to that place where, that becomes our dominant vibration. And when that happens, I know sometimes I've beaten myself up for it, and I think, now I'm in this place, and, I prefer to not be in this place. I prefer to be in a happier space and, be in my highest vibration possible. And I've also learned, and I know a lot of my friends who are coaches have also learned, that we have to be easy on ourselves as well, because once things do start to flow into that other direction, it's one thing to know better, and that's great, but we also need to be easy on ourselves, because when we're easy on ourselves, then that actually allows the space for us to easily shift back into that higher vibrational space.
I completely agree. And one of my favorite spiritual teachers, Abraham Hicks, and I'm sure you're familiar with her. She says over and over and over again, I've had the pleasure of spending quite a bit of time with Abraham, I guess, not necessarily Esther, but she says over and over, they say over and over again, be easy about it all. Be easy about it all. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be hard. And why be hard on ourselves? Because there's enough people that will get down on us without us doing it to ourselves.
Yep.
So I could not agree with you more. And it is one of the primary lessons that most people need to learn, because we are taught to be exactly the opposite.
Yes.
Almost from the day we're born. We're taught to, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, there's not enough, and it's always negative, 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 lack. And that becomes sort of our default.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. Now, that doesn't mean that we should just be lax and lazy. I think everybody ought to hold themselves to very high standards so that they take best advantage of their intelligence and their resources and their talents and be excellent. And at the same time, when you do slip, and we all do, I don't care how enlightened the person is.
Right.
If the Dalai Lama can get angry and have his moments, then the rest of us can too, because he's about as enlightened as it gets as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, be easy with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Realize you're human, and these negative moments are learning experiences. And, again, if you get consistent at that, you get better and better at holding yourself back so you don't go over the edge as much. And when you do, you can pull yourself back pretty quickly. And that all leads to a very pleasant way of living.
Absolutely. And I find that even just the experience of going from, knowing that you're in a high vibrational positive space and then knowing that, oh no, yeah, I've slipped and I'm not there anymore, that the act of practicing, of getting back to that higher vibrational space, it really tunes you to, or can tune you to learning how to be in the flow. And right? And to me, all of this, what we're talking about so far, to me, all of it, it's about that connection between head and heart and finding that balance and that flow. And I feel that the more we, as people, I think all of us are in some form, deal with this in our lives. And the more we decide to really venture in and learn and try to find balance or flow with that, it leads into that more spirituality, spiritual space. And I love that you just brought up Abraham Hicks. So would you share with us a little bit about what your spiritual journey has been like in life?
I'd be happy to. Like so many people who do this work, and I was thinking about this before our chat because you mentioned in our preliminary discussions that you might ask me about this. And as I was getting ready for our discussion today, I started thinking about it. And I'd never thought about it quite this way. But so many people who do this work used to suffer greatly. And, I think of Byron Katie, and if you ever read her story, she was a mess. And Wayne Dyer was he was a basket case before he got a clue, and so many others. In my earlier life, I was like most of my clients. I was extremely insecure. I was very compulsive. I was addicted to tobacco. I was in a marriage that never should have happened. Two nice people that just didn't belong together, and it was very codependent and very painful. And so I was one insecure, scared, angry, uptight guy, and life wasn't very much fun. And through a series of, I can only say that I do believe the universe provides us all what we need when we need it, but through a series of events, I was faced with having to kind of figure out that, who am I really? I was 42 years old, and I'm thinking, my life sucks. What's going on here? And that's when I began my journey of doing exactly what you just said, balancing the mind and the spirit, really rediscovering the concept of spirit, not religion, but spirit, which is our essence. We are spiritual beings in a physical body. Whether we like it or not, want to admit it or not, we are. It's been scientifically proven that this essence, this energy called spirit exists. And so I began to explore it. And the more I explored it, and applied it, the better I felt. And the better I felt, the more I wanted to learn. And over the course of several years, that sounds like a long time, but when you're in the moment, it's just exciting. One discovery after another and feeling better and better almost every day. That's eventually what led me to do the work I do today.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was and in my book, I share a lot of my story. And what I do with my clients and students is help them understand how they got where they are. Because we think, oh, my God, I'm the only one. I have so many people that come in for their first session, and they say, it doesn't matter what their issue is. And I'll say, wow. And they think that they're the only one. There's something wrong with them. And there's nothing wrong with us. We just get trained, if you will, or programmed at a very early age to take on these fears, these insecurities, and, these other issues that hold us back. So, yeah, mine was a painful journey for the first 40 years or so of my life, and then since then, it has been essentially joyful, and still is.
Oh, I love that. And what you mentioned about us getting trained to sort of be in this painful space, and that to me that speaks to just how we're all connected. And so one person who maybe isn't connected to their spirituality can easily influence another person who may not be connected to to their spirituality. And it doesn't even have to be spirituality, but maybe it's just a certain awareness about where our attention is being shifted, whether or not we're conscious of it.
Yeah, and if you look at modern Western culture, and as part of my, back when I was studying for my doctorate and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for my dissertation, I did a lot of research on when this all occurred, but we basically have evolved into a culture that is steeped in materialism and empiricism. We have a way of thinking. Our science and philosophy is based on the notion of I'll see it, I'll believe it when I see it. Show me the proof, and then I'll believe what you say. And that is in direct opposition or antithesis to what the more indigenous, native, Eastern cultures of the world. If you look at the tribal cultures, and I don't care where they are or where they came from, whether it's Asia or Australia or North America or South America, it doesn't matter. They all have a very similar philosophy, which is exactly opposite to the way Westerners think. They believe in order to see. They don't have to see in order to believe. And the cool thing is that modern science, using that very empiricistic way of thinking, which has a place, they are proving through scientific experiment that the native peoples of the world, whom we might call the more spiritual peoples of the world, are exactly right. We manifest through the way we use our energy. And so that concept of balance between the physical, the material,
yes,
and the more ethereal or spiritual, that is the essence to creating a life that's fun. And we are so imbalanced in Western society. That's why everybody's so uptight and anxious and addicted and you name it. 10 years ago, most of the folks that came to see me were people that had a habit or like smoking cigarettes, or they wanted to lose some weight, or they bit their nails, or some other little annoying thing, or maybe low self-confidence and or a phobia. Today, 90% of the people that I see come in with anxiety. They are just anxious in general. And that says a lot about energetic imbalance.
Yeah.
And as you said, the cool thing is we don't have to stay that way. It's really easy to shift and get back into balance if you're willing to commit to yourself and do the work. And, of course, that's what the whole synthesis process is about.
What have you found makes it easier for people to be able to shift into a higher vibration? I know you do the hypnotherapy and you do EFT and things like that. Is there anything outside of those modalities that you found is also useful for your clients?
Well, yeah. I mean, the modalities are just tools. I like to think of hypnosis as a state of consciousness that creates an open state of mind. Meditation is a state of consciousness that helps us really focus and go within. EFT is a technique that helps unblock energy blocks. The modalities are just tools. They are facilitators. What I find is the best thing is understanding. And I always start with helping my clients or my students, or in the case of my book, my readers, understand how they got this way. Because once they understand how they got this way and they realize that even though they did it, it wasn't their fault, you can see the light bulb go off because so that's it. I'm not alone. This is why I feel the way I do. And with that knowledge, the old cliche, knowledge is power. Well, it can be. Because once you understand where you came from, and then someone gives you the tools and tells you how to use them, you're on your way. It's like giving someone the wood, the nails, the bricks, the toolkit, and the blueprint and say, build a house. Once they know how to do it, they do it. I love metaphors, and it's a very apt metaphor. So I think that's the key, is to understand how and why we got the way we are, and then realize that there are tools and techniques and professionals like you or me and all the other people that do this work that can help them use the tools to change their lives. And that's it.
Absolutely. You know what? We're getting ready for our first break, but before we do, I would love to be able to share to share your website with the audience today. Go ahead and what's the best way for people to contact you? Would you mind sharing that right now?
Oh, not at all. I have two websites, actually. www.hypnotherapy Los Angeles, hypnotherapy spelled out, Los Angeles spelled out, one big long word.com, which is more geared toward the hypnotherapy part of my practice. And then Dr. John McGrail, my name.com, is my other website, which talks more about the bigger picture of the synthesis process. And I'm reachable through either of those sites via email or telephone, and I personally respond to any questions and requests. If anybody wants to reach out, they have a question, you will get a response from me. I don't have my staff or my people, as they so often say, do that. But thank you for the opportunity to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to go ahead and go to our first break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Dr. John McGrail a little bit more about the synthesis effect and what that is. So stay right there. We'll be right back. No matter how your life looks today, your possibilities are endless. You deserve all the joy, peace, and excitement in life that you desire. Life doesn't come with a manual, and that's why personal coaching is so awesome. Moving forward is easier. Creating a new reality for yourself, healing your mind and body, it's all possible. Visit KimO'NeillCoaching.com today to learn more and schedule your free consultation.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now, this same technology is available to you. They have the best earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. earthchannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things, like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget, web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now, so come to earthchannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 800-849-8978. That's 800-849-8978.
Right now, I know you're in the middle of a break during my show, The Perk Up with Kim Show, and I'm so glad you could join us today. Are you having fun, maybe feeling inspired, a little rejuvenated? Reassured that it's all going to be okay, because you are super strong and can get through and accomplish anything. I know this. Sign up at KimO'NeillCoaching.com/contact to make sure you always know when the next show is going to air. And hey, if no one's told you yet today, you're doing a great job. Okay, I gotta go. Show's about to start back up.
Attention Kmart shoppers. Now you get Kmart on HealthyLife.net. Kmart carries over 70,000 items like Martha Stewart's Everyday Products, apparel by Jacqueline Smith, Joe Boxer, Route 66, appliances, jewelry, and more. Everything you need. Plus, you'll get exciting weekly promotions. Go to HealthyLife.net's homepage and click on Kmart, and then you're there. And you even avoided the crowds.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
Awesome. Welcome back. You're listening to the Perk Up with Kim show, and I'm talking with Dr. John McGrail. And he has written a book called The Synthesis Effect, Your Direct Path to Personal Power and Transformation. And Dr. McGrail, I would love for you to share with us what the synthesis effect is.
Okay, well, the synthesis effect is the end of using what I call the synthesis process. In other words, it's living your life in the way you want to live it. It's having overcome the issues, the limiting beliefs, the fears, the phobias, whatever it is, the lack of self-esteem or confidence, whatever you're suffering from that's keeping you from living your life in your own way. When you use this process that I call synthesis, for lack of a better term, it's the best I could come up with, that the effect is living a life that you feel is fun, that you really, really like who you are and how you're living, and everything is flowing. You've got into that balance that we talked about a little bit earlier. So that's what the synthesis effect is. Synthesis is the process through which we do that, and we already touched upon it a little bit. The way it came about is sort of a long story, but it really is about taking different ingredients, which is what synthesis is. You take different ingredients and put them together to create a stronger whole. So we use elements of Western thinking. I'll believe it when I see it. and some of the models of Western philosophy, and we incorporate them with the more spiritually based native elements of a variety of native philosophies, including some Eastern techniques like Kundalini Yoga, meditation, hypnosis, all the other modalities we've already discussed, NLP and EFT, and you bring them together to synthesize a better you, which is the name of my company, A Better You, create a better you. So that's the process, and the effect is really, really liking who you are and how you're living.
Nice. And is there any sort of, we're all different, I know this, but I'm just curious if you tend to notice a common amount of time that it takes for someone to go from, wherever they are to being that better themselves.
Well, there is no set thing. I like to say to all my clients when they decide to work with me or my students, I will get you where you want to be as quickly as your mind will allow it to occur, because we all have, our own responses. We all have our own experiences and filters and values. Everybody responds differently. And in the same breath, I can say those people, this is really, really important, those people who truly want to make a change in their lives, and it's for them, not because someone wants them to do it, right, and who are willing to commit to the process, which is committing to themselves, and there is work involved. It's not magic. It may feel like magic because it happens quickly for most people. And they go into it with that sense of, I will do whatever it takes to get this done because I'm tired of living this way.
Right.
I'm going to use the tools. And if people go into that, it happens really pretty quickly, sometimes in a matter of weeks, very rarely a couple of months. But most of my clients that I work with personally are only with me from about 2 to 5 sessions on average.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I find that having a bigger why is really what can help us stay committed and focused to ourselves and our own growth and moving in that direction we want. Because when what we're doing is, for, like you said, for someone else, or maybe it's just, let me experiment with this, but maybe we're not as committed to it, then we don't always receive the results that we want. But when we know that there's that big reason, like, I'm tired of dealing with whatever this is that I'm dealing with, it can make it easier. And I don't know, I just wanted to say that.
Well, I agree. I mean, that's why, the self-help book industry is, it's the biggest single genre of nonfiction literature is self-help. And unfortunately, we have a couple of social memes, if you will, these sort of like social genes. One, we want instant results because technology gives us instant results. So everybody they want to go from A to Z. You hear about hacks. Give me a hack for this and a hack for that, which is a shortcut. And a lot of people think if they just read a book, they're going to be transformed, and it feels really good while you're reading the book. But then they don't do the work, and you have to do the work. So you're right. You have to commit, and it's got to be for you. I don't ever take a case if someone calls me and says, my wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or sister or husband or whomever wants me to do this because they think I'll be better off. I never take those cases because it's going to be a waste of their time and their money and my time. And I just say, no, if it's not for you, then I can't help you because it won't work. It just never does.
I love that you say that. I've been surprised because I have had a few people contact me that were not contacting me for themselves. And then when you do talk to the person who, they're trying to convince that they need help, it's like, okay, well, I'm here, but if you don't really want it for yourself, then we're just wasting our time.
Right. And I get those calls too. I want you to work with my wife or husband or sister, brother, boyfriend, doesn't matter what the relationship is, and help them do something. And I'll say, great. Do they want to do it? Forget it. If they want to do it, have them call me. But just because you want them to, and I appreciate that. You have a loved one that's addicted to something, or they have a bad habit, and you see them suffering, and they don't have to, and so of course you want them to get help. Yeah. But it just doesn't work that way. And I
can empathize with that too. When you see someone you love struggling, having a rough time, and you just really want to help, I totally get it. I feel like the thing that I continue to learn over and over, and we all know this, you can't change anybody. You cannot change anybody, but one of the best things we can do is be our best self, right? And by us modeling, us being in our highest vibration and in our truth and that sort of thing, living out what's important to us, our life purpose, that has the potential to help someone else, choose maybe something different for themselves if they want to. I don't know.
I agree. And in the meantime, you're living your life in the way you want to, and you're living a life that's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Getting back to Abraham Hicks, another one of Abraham's lessons over and over and over again, and I share this with so many clients, is that you cannot give someone the answers if they are not asking the questions.
Yeah.
And we all go through this. I mean, we all want to see the people that we care about living powerfully and happily and abundantly. And many times, unfortunately, for whatever reason, their path at this moment in time just isn't going that way. Right. You're so right. We cannot change anybody. And I have so many people that say, "Oh my God, you're going to fix me," and I say, "No. I'm not going to fix you. You're going to fix you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to guide you through the process. Right. But you're going to fix yourself, because it really is that. We're facilitators. There's my favorite Native American shaman, and I've studied quite a few of them. He was one of the most famous. His name was Frank Foolscrow, one of the most powerful Native American shamans to ever be documented. I mean, he could do stuff that people just can't do, but he could do it. Wow. He said he would say this over and over again: a healer, in whatever capacity they work, is not anything but a hollow bones, he used to call it, through which the energy flows. Yes. To help the person heal themselves. And I really, really like that. I totally agree. Totally agree. We actually, the time just flies on these shows. We are getting ready for another break. But before we go, I wanted to reference an Abraham Hicks quote. Well, this is more of a paraphrase. I don't have the exact quote. But because I love that you keep bringing Abraham Hicks up, the one that stands out to me a lot is that one who is in alignment is more powerful than one who is not. And that's not about taking power away from anybody. It's about when you are standing in your truth, you have the ability to help raise up others. And absolutely. Yeah. So, okay. Awesome. We are going to take another break, and when we come right back, we're going to just continue this wonderful, expansive, uplifting conversation. I hope you're finding it uplifting. I am. So stay right there. We'll be right back. Sometimes we wish we could practically do nothing and still feel better. Guess what? You kinda can. When you schedule a Reiki or guided meditation session, you can just be and receive and allow the energy to shift. There's relief. These energy sessions can be done alone or combined with a coaching session. Find out more at KimO'NeillCoaching.com and click on the Energy Work tab.
Get your moto going at the Motorola store online. Visit the HealthyLife.net advertiser page, click on Motorola, and you'll discover a whole new world of phones. Plus, you can get great deals on phones, with or without contract. That's great, Moto. And don't forget, they even have Bluetooth and other phone accessories. But that's not all. Want more Moto? Motorola has home and office phones and two-way radios. And for the best Moto ever, Motorola has great specials right online. Go to the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and click on the Motorola banner now and get your moto going.
Yes! You did it! You got the job interview. Now all you need to do is prepare. You aren't sure how or what to say? Guess what? We can do this together then. One of my specialties is helping you to know how to present your best self for an employment interview. We'll practice, you'll feel confident. You got this. Visit KimO'NeillCoaching.com or call 562-273-2546.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Okay, welcome back. You're listening to Perk Up with Kim, and I'm talking to Dr. John McGrail. And so in the last segment, we were talking about being able to help others, and really the best way to do that is about when we are taking care of ourselves. And I know that in these times, there's a lot of divisiveness and a lot of energy going on everywhere. And I think a lot of helpers are coming out of the woodwork. And it's, for me personally, I don't know about you, Dr. John McGrail, but I'm so sorry, that's awkward. I say your full name, Dr. John McGrail.
John is fine.
John. Okay. So I just wanted to mention this because I know a lot of helpers are coming out of the woodwork, and I find that so wonderful. A lot of people stepping into their power, their strength, and I wanted to get your thoughts on, self-care and not burning out. What, you do a lot of work helping other people, and what tips do you have, about self-care and not burning out?
Well, I think it's really, really important to realize that, a couple of things. If you are a helper or a healer, a coach or a therapist, and I think this is especially true when we're kind of new at it. I just had a client who is a psychotherapist, and very early in their career. And one of the things that happens is that we get this false notion that we're supposed to be, omnipotent and strong, and if I'm going to walk, teach it, I got to walk the walk, so to speak. But we all have stuff, as I said earlier, and so it's really important to take really good care of yourself. It is important if you're teaching a methodology, like with my synthesis process. I practice it every single day, and because I think if I'm going to teach it, I have to be genuine. And even that requires, sometimes, I don't care who you are, you get out of whack, you get out of balance, you're kind of sideways. You need to have somebody that you can go to help tune you up. And I think, there was a time early in my career when I had this false notion that I'm supposed to be able to fix every single person that comes through the door. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really prevalent with new people. I mentor a lot of therapists that are sort of new in their career. And, that you have this thing like, I'm the fixer, I'm the healer, it's my job, and everybody's got. And it's not. All we can do is our best. And it's up to the person that comes to us to do the work. We show them the way, and if they do the work, they're going to be fine. But also, when we get sideways, it's really important to go get the help we need so that we can get back in the game. Because everybody, at some point or another, needs a little assistance. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So self-care is so, so, so important. You can't do the work if you're not doing the work for yourself, and that sometimes means you need outside assistance.
Absolutely. I agree. I want to mention something that I think goes right in line with what we're talking about now, but it's coming up. So even if it's not, I just want to bring it up anyway.
Sure.
One thing I've noticed for myself is that, even so I'm there helping others. I'm also doing my own work. And then there are those times when, like you said, I get a little sideways and I need a little tune-up and a redirect. But I've also learned, I noticed that it's not uncommon sometimes for other helpers to even judge each other when they see someone else supposedly getting sideways, out of whack. And what I've noticed is that I think there's even even though we get out of alignment at times, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're actually out of alignment. I mean, I actually find that sometimes that's giving us the information to that next bigger calling maybe we have inside of us. Maybe there's an answer to something we've been seeking and we haven't found it yet, but we've asked for it. And when we flow into that direction of feeling like we're out of alignment, that shows us that answer. And so I almost feel that, when we get out of alignment, it's not necessarily that we're actually out of alignment. We are actually in the flow. Abraham Hicks always says that we're always on the path. And right. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I completely agree with you. And what I say to everybody is that we have to remember that this is a process.
Yeah.
And it never ends. You cannot get it wrong, as Abraham says. And I continually quote Abraham Hicks because I've studied them for so many years and spent a lot of time in their presence. life is a process. From the moment you enter this particular life until you leave it and transition back into the non-physical, you are in process. It never, ever ends. So you're absolutely right. And it's a continual learning process if you want it to be. And that's, ideally, we continue to grow and we don't have too many reversals, and, although we do. But, yeah, sometimes you're feeling completely off. You don't know why, and then you do whatever work you need to do, and then, boom, you're at another level, and you go, wow.
Yep.
How cool is that? So you're right. But it's a process. People so often think, okay, I'm done.
Right.
You're never done. None of us are done.
Absolutely. And I think there's that facade of perfectionism, like, okay, let me get to this place. Oh, yay, I think I'm finally there. And, oh, no, now I got sidetracked. Now I'm no longer there. But I completely agree with you. It's a continual process. And as long as if that's the journey, the path that we're on, then I think finding that ease and being able to just be in the flow and knowing that I'm in process too, and I can still be one that supports others, in their process.
Right, because we're all at different levels. But I couldn't agree with you more, Kim. I think that's a really great way of describing it. And perfectionism, by the way, I have a new video series. It's weekly or bi-weekly short videos that come out and talk about these sort of, just little tips about how to live better. And I just did one on perfectionism a couple of weeks ago. If anybody's interested, they can just go to my YouTube channel, John McGrail, and they're numbered from 1. I think there are about 15 of them out now. But perfectionism is another thing. I see it all the time, and it is absolutely devastating to a human being to try to be perfect, because we cannot be perfect in human form. It's impossible. There has never been a human being on this planet, ever, not one. Even the big, the greats, as I like to call them, walking divinity, that has been perfect. So why would an individual think that they're the ones that are supposed to be perfect? What we can be, though, is excellent. So we can set really high standards for ourselves, and we can meet those standards, but it gives us the wiggle room to be human, which by its very nature means imperfection is there. That's why we come into this lifetime, to learn, to grow. And it's through those imperfect choices and the down times that we feel the joy. So, yeah, good. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Well, thank you for bringing up your videos. I'm definitely going to check those out. So, wonderful. Well, oh, my goodness, we're getting ready for another break again. So let me just go ahead and remind people how they can get in contact with you. They can go to your website you have 2 websites, so they can go to drjohnmcgrail.com, and McGrail is McGrail.com, or hypnotherapylosangeles.com, and that's all spelled out. So go ahead and check out Dr. McGrail at either of those websites, and stay right there because we have more. We're not done yet. So stay right there. We'll be right back. No matter how your life looks today, your possibilities are endless. You deserve all the joy, peace, and excitement in life that you desire. Life doesn't come with a manual, and that's why personal coaching is so awesome. Moving forward is easier. Creating a new reality for yourself, healing your mind and body, it's all possible. Visit KimO'NeillCoaching.com today to learn more and schedule your free consultation.
These shoes are made for walking, jumping, running, and just plain style. Over 32,000 styles. Skechers, an award-winning global leader in lifestyle footwear. And now you can get Skechers without walking, jumping, or running. You can get them by clicking. Scroll down HealthyLife.net's homepage and click. You can check out Skechers, high-quality shoes in styles for men, women, and children. So get in style. Get Skechers today and start walking, running, jumping, and strutting in style.
Right now, I know you're in the middle of a break during my show, the Perk Up with Kim show, and I'm so glad you could join us today. Are you having fun, maybe feeling inspired, a little rejuvenated, reassured that it's all going to be okay, because you are super strong and can get through and accomplish anything. I know this. Sign up at KimO'NeillCoaching.com/contact to make sure you always know when the next show is going to air. And hey, if no one's told you yet today, you're doing a great job. Okay, I gotta go. Show's about to start back up.
If you like to spend your television viewing time learning about some of the things that you may have missed in history class, or if history was your favorite subject, then you should check out the link to the History Channel on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page. Order DVD sets by series or by subject matter right from our homepage while you still enjoy your favorite HealthyLife.net show.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us again. We are in the final segment of today's show. You're listening to Perk Up with Kim, and I'm speaking with Dr. John McGrail, who's a hypnotherapist, spiritual teacher, and so much more. And I want to bring the focus back to the title of today's show, John, about life is supposed to be fun. Sure. What are some things that you do that just make life fun for you?
Well, as I described before, my definition of fun is really liking who and what you are, number one. And because I decided to do the work that I needed to do to what I call rediscover myself, that began a long journey of fun. But I first of all, I really like who I am, and that I'm continually learning and growing, and I've learned to put my ego where it needs to be. So it never, I shouldn't say never, but it usually doesn't get the better of me. I have a joyful, blissful marriage with just what I call my soulmate. We've been together for 22 years now. Mm-hmm. So having had a bad marriage, knowing what a good one is, I love passionately what I do for a living, and that is helping other people learn what I learned and create their fun, whatever that is for them. I really, truly have never, I've been doing this full time for over 16 years now. Every single session, every single day, every single workshop, seminar, radio show, TV show, they're all just really exciting. So I love that. When I wake up in the morning, I can't wait to get to it. And then I have some hobbies that I pursue in my free time that give me great joy. So, yeah, my life is a lot of fun right now.
That's awesome. The thing that stands out for me most is when you said you like who you are. And I think that's so important because a lot of people, they hear the phrase, self-love, but they don't really know what that means or what that looks like or how to get there.
Well, actually, it's how to get back there because we're all born full of it. If you look at little ones, they are absolutely, totally, unconditionally in love with themselves and anybody that wants to give it to them. Conditional love is something that is learned, and unfortunately, usually pretty early in life. We have that unconditional self-love beaten out of us pretty early in life, and with that goes our self-esteem because we start worrying about what other people think of us, and that always goes down a bad path because there's too many of them, they're too fickle, and how are you going to please them all? But yes, it always starts with ourselves. I don't even like to say like who you are, but if you love who you are, and again, it doesn't mean you're perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make bad choices. You're going to probably hurt people, hopefully most of the time inadvertently, not on purpose. But if you really, truly love who you are and you love the concept, the process of living your life, things just begin to align. We get into that flow that Abraham talks about because whether we're rowing upstream against the current or dropping the oars, as they say all the time, and going with that current of natural well-being, that's always a choice. So, yeah, that's where it starts. In fact, with relationships, my next book is entitled Me, Myself, and Us, The Key to Finding Your Soulmate. It starts with yourself. Yeah. Until you love yourself, you cannot possibly love someone else unconditionally nor receive it. And so if you know who you are and you love, honor, and respect yourself, knowing that you're imperfect and there's always more to learn, then you can attract someone that feels the same way. And then you have a relationship that'll last a lifetime.
I love that. Yeah. And you mentioned dropping the oars. It can be exhausting fighting against ourselves.
It is exhausting, and that's part of what causes so much pain in our lives is that we're just always going against the flow. Yeah. Suffer. No pain, no gain. It's not supposed to be that way, and it doesn't have to be that way.
And I think a lot of people, too, they think, well, it just sounds too simple to whatever it is for them, to shift focus away from whatever's keeping them down. It seems, right? One thing that was also coming to mind as I was, getting ready for this interview is I was recalling that in positive psychology tells us that positive emotions help us open up and expand to more possibilities. And I love that because it gives us some sort of, research framework to go back to of how that actually is helpful for us.
Well, it's absolutely true because positive emotions feel better. And when you feel better, you're more efficient, you're more productive, you're putting out a much more positive energy. And, of course, the law of attraction is a physical law. What you put out energetically is going to have a lot to do with what you attract back. And, if you think of our neurotransmitters, our endocrine system, we have a pharmacy inside our bodies. And the chemicals associated with stress and anger, cortisol and adrenaline, are very powerful. They're also very corrosive. The neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, which are our natural feel-good drugs, are very, very beneficial. In fact, not only in the way we feel, but in what happens to our bodies. And we have an enormous amount of control over which side of the pharmacy is squirting drugs into our system.
I love that.
Yeah, I just never really thought of it that way. But I've been doing some new research into the art of Kundalini yoga and what's called medical meditation, where there are certain yoga-based meditations for certain physical ailments. And so I've been reading a lot about the chakra system and the energy system and learning more than I ever knew before. It's very exciting stuff. But, yeah, it's absolutely true. Positive emotions, which is always a choice. You can choose to be happy anytime you want, will always get you further faster than resistance, anger, negative emotions, and self-deprecation, which unfortunately seems to be the norm for so many people. And I would say to all the listeners, it's not your fault. It just happens that way, and you can change it. It is simple.
Yeah.
Whether it's easy or hard is going to be your choice. And I say that to every single person I work with. It's a simple process. It can be easy. It can be hard. Your choice. Please choose easy.
Right. And it's as simple as, just choosing to focus on something else. And sometimes to even be able to do that, we just need to stop everything altogether. And that's why I love meditation, because it just allows us to just sort of recalibrate and find that space of ease. Well,
yes, and also connect to the most powerful part of us, which is our spiritual energy, which, again, scientifically has been proven to exist. Yep. We are spirits, whether we like it or not.
Absolutely. Well, I cannot believe it, but we are already at the very end of the show. So I want to say thank you so much, John, for being here today. And are there any final words you'd like to share before we go?
Well, yeah, just to reiterate, first of all, thank you so very much for having me. It's been a delight. You are a terrific host, and the work you do is so very powerful, getting the message of the potential out to as many people as possible. So what I would say is to everybody out there, even if it seems impossible, even if you think it's hopeless, it's not. You can live the life of your dreams. You can. You probably are going to need a little help. And the help is out there. And, again, if anybody reaches out with questions or whatever to me, I always cheerfully answer personally, and it's free. But whether it's me or somebody else, the help is out there.
Yeah.
You deserve to have the life of your dreams. Christopher Morley said, there is only one success, to live your life in your own way. And that's it. So if there's only one success, then there's only one failure, and that's not to do it. It's out there. Do it. You will be so happy you did. You're worth it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Strong finish. Well, thank you so much for your kind words. I absolutely love doing what I do and love getting to speak to people like you. So let's just remind people the way you can get in touch with Dr. John McGrail is by going to drjohnmcgrail.com or go to hypnotherapylosangeles.com. And if you'd like to know more about me, you can go to my website, KimO'NeillCoaching.com. O'Neill is O'Neill, and find out about future shows and all the things that I do as well. So grateful to have you here. I look forward to connecting with everyone listening again, and it's been a great day. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Sometimes we wish we could practically do nothing and still feel better. Guess what? You kind of can. When you schedule a Reiki or guided meditation session, you can just be and receive and allow the energy to shift. There's relief. These energy sessions can be done alone or combined with a coaching session. Find out more at KimO'NeillCoaching.com and click on the Energy Work tab.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Yes! You did it! You got the job interview. Now all you need to do is prepare. You aren't sure how or what to say? Guess what? We can do this together then. One of my specialties is helping you to know how to present your best self for an employment interview. We'll practice, you'll feel confident. You got this. Visit KimO'NeillCoaching.com or call 562-273-2546.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.